You divorce a black woman because she refused to let your dying mother live with you. Not because of her race. Not because of anything except the moment she looked you in the eyes and said your mother could rot in a nursing home for all she cared. Your mom has stage 4 cancer. 6 months, maybe 8 if she's lucky. She needs help getting dressed, making meals, remembering which pills go down at which hour. You asked your wife if she could move into the guest room temporarily. Just until the end. Your wife said no. She said your mother never liked her anyway, which was true. She said the house was too small, which wasn't. She said it would disrupt their daughter's routine, which was code for I don't want to deal with this. You stood in your kitchen at 11:47 on a Thursday night and realized you married someone who could watch your mother die alone and feel nothing. That's when you knew. You don't make the decision lightly. You've been married for 9 years. You have a daughter named Zoe who just turned 7 and still believes you and her mother are the two people who will never leave her. The statistics are everywhere. Children of divorce are twice as likely to drop out of school, 3 times more likely to need psychological help before age 18. 70% report feeling like they lost part of their childhood. You read these numbers on your phone at 2 o'clock in the morning while your wife sleeps 3 feet away, and you feel the weight of what you're about to do pressing down on your chest like someone parked a car there. You know what breaking this family will cost. You also know what staying will cost. And some prices are too high even when you're the one who has to explain them to a 7-year-old. The conversation happens on a Sunday. Zoe is at her grandmother's house. Your mother, the one your wife won't help. You sit across from your wife at the dining table you bought together 4 years ago, and you say the words, I want a divorce. She doesn't cry. She gets angry. She says you're choosing your mother over your family. You say your mother is your family. She says if you walk out that door, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. You say you already regret staying this long. The argument spirals. Voices rise. Things get said that can't be unsaid. She tells you were never good enough for her anyway. You tell her you finally agree. By the time it's over, the sun has gone down and the house feels like a crime scene where the body is the last 9 years of your life. The custody battle is ugly. She fights for full custody and uses everything. Your work hours, your mother's illness, the fact that you put your dying parent above your marriage. Her lawyer is better than yours. The court system favors mothers in cases like this, especially when the mother presents as stable and the father presents as a man who chose his sick mom over his wife. You get every other weekend. 14 days a month you don't see your daughter. 14 days where someone else puts her to bed, makes her breakfast, hears about her day. You become a visitor in your child's life. The guilt is a living thing. It sits in your passenger seat. It eats dinner with you. It whispers that you broke her home and now she'll grow up broken too. Your mother moves in with you 3 weeks after the divorce is finalized. She's frailer than you expected. The chemo has turned her into someone made of paper. You help her to the bathroom. You cook her meals she can't finish. You sit with her at 4 o'clock in the morning when the pain is worst and she can't sleep. She thanks you every single day. She says she's sorry this cost you your marriage. You tell her it didn't cost you anything you wanted to keep. You're lying, but it's the kind of lie that makes dying easier. Zoe stays with her mother. You see her on your weekends and you try to make them perfect. Parks, movies, her favorite restaurant. But she's different now, quieter. She asks why you don't live with them anymore. You explain it the way the therapist told you to. Sometimes adults stop being good partners, but they never stop being good parents. She nods like she understands, but her eyes say she doesn't. She's 7. How could she? Then it happens on a Tuesday. Your ex-wife calls you at work. Her voice is shaking. Something's wrong with Zoe. You're at the hospital within 20 minutes. Your ex-wife is in the waiting room, mascara streaked, hands shaking. She tells you between sobs that Zoe collapsed at school. Seizure. They don't know why. She's stable now, but they're running tests. You sit in a plastic chair that's bolted to the floor and you wait. The doctor comes out 2 hours later with a face that's practiced at delivering information that rewrites lives. Zoe has a brain tumor. Medulloblastoma. Aggressive, it was worsened by the anxiety and depression from the divorce. In fact, it was caused by it. They caught it late because the symptoms, headaches, fatigue, mood changes, looked like a kid struggling with her parents' divorce. Everyone missed it. You missed it. The treatment plan is immediate. Surgery, radiation, chemotherapy. The oncologist uses words like survival rate and quality of life, and you hear them through water. Your ex-wife grabs your hand for the first time in 8 months. You let her. Zoe goes into surgery on a Friday. It takes 11 hours. They remove 60% of the tumor. The rest is too close to critical brain structures. The surgeon says they got what they could. You hear what he doesn't say. It's not enough. The radiation starts 2 weeks later. You and your ex-wife take shifts. You're there Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. She's there Tuesdays, Thursdays, weekends. You don't argue anymore. There's nothing left to fight about except keeping your daughter alive, and that's not a fight. It's a prayer you're both losing. Zoe loses her hair by week 3. She stops asking when she can go home by week 5. Your mother dies on a Sunday morning while you're at the hospital with Zoe. Your sister calls. You step into the hallway. You cry for 4 minutes. Then you go back into Zoe's room, and you read her a book about a mouse who's brave, and you don't tell her that her grandmother is gone because she's got enough to carry. Statistics say that children from divorced homes face higher rates of anxiety, depression, academic struggles. 60% report feeling caught between parents. 40% say they wish their parents had tried harder. You read those numbers in a hospital corridor at 2 o'clock in the morning on your phone while your daughter sleeps 10 feet away, dying from something nobody caught because everyone was too busy watching a marriage collapse. The tumor doesn't respond to treatment. It grows. By month 4, Zoe can't walk without help. By month 5, she's on a morphine drip. The hospice nurse is kind. She tells you there's no timeline, but her eyes tell you there is. Your ex-wife breaks on a Tuesday. She comes into Zoe's room and she looks at you and she says she's sorry. For everything. For making you choose. For not helping your mother. For turning love into a war neither of you won. You tell her you're sorry too. You tell her you should have fought harder to keep the family together, should have found a way that didn't require someone to lose. She says some problems don't have solutions, only consequences. Zoe dies on a Thursday at 4:17 in the morning. You're holding one hand, your ex-wife is holding the other. The monitors go quiet, the nurse comes in. It's over. You bury your daughter next to your mother in a cemetery in Pennsylvania, where the trees are old and the ground is soft. The service is small. Your ex-wife stands on one side of the grave, you stand on the other. The same distance you've kept since the divorce. The same distance that let a tumor grow unnoticed in your daughter's brain while 2 adults who loved her were too busy destroying each other to see her dying. You chose your mother. You lost your wife. You kept your integrity. And your daughter paid the bill. That's the truth about moral victories. Somebody always pays. And it's never the person who made the choice. The person who